you don't have to wish bad on anybody for them to reap the things that they have sown. We are seeing a lot right now in this time, a lot of people who are reaping the seeds that they have sown. And some people mistake that sometimes for somebody have done something to them, or some people sending them negative juju or energy or whatever, what have you. When people are given an account, just like all of us have to, people are given an account for their bad deeds, you know? And a lot of that is being shown, a lot of that is being exposed in this time. There is a lot of people who are facing adversities and going through certain things where, you know, a lot of it is because of their own doing. Don't get me wrong, there are individuals in this world who wish bad on people. There are nasty, despicable people in this world who have nothing better to do but to sit up and try to figure out how to ruin somebody's day or to ruin people's lives. There are people who sit up in their hell and their misery that want to see other people do bad because of, for whatever reason. And sometimes the biggest things that we see is because people are jealous or they are envious, or because they live in and they're living in their own hell. And a lot of unhealed people that have not dealt with their demons. They have not dealt with themselves. They have not dealt with their demons. And then, you know, people who are unaccountable, they want to point the finger at other people, and they refuse to take accountability as a grown man or as a grown woman. And yet they will offer advice or feel as though they can teach somebody something, or that they can lead certain individuals. And again, give people advice when they haven't even been able to master or demonstrate taking self-accountability for certain things. And you know, people think that they will do certain things and that they won't have to give an account of it, that they will get away with it. But that's so far from the truth. And that's what we're seeing, where people think that people have it out for them or whatever, which almost sounds a little paranoid. But you know, really what it is people are experiencing the things that they have put out into the universe, that energy, that karma. Now, I don't expect karma to send me negative energy, or that I'm going to experience adverse things or negativity. No, I have good expectations. I have great expectations. I have, you know, expectations of reaping a harvest from good seeds. That doesn't mean that it changed the fact that there are unhealed individuals in the world. But yet and still, there are individuals who have done a lot of things in the dark that they have not given account of. There are people who have done things and have had conversations that only God has seen and heard. So when people are dealing with certain things, a lot of times it's because of their own doing. It's their own seeds, their own shortcomings, because of the seeds that they have planted, right? And yet again, refuse to take responsibility for it, refuse to take accountability, and then think that everybody else is the problem, that everybody else is the offender, and that they take up this position of a victim mentality. They take up this victim role. As long as I live, as long as I have breath in my body, as long as I have strength, I pray to the Most High and my ancestors that I never take up the role of a victim. Why do I say that? Because I'm too powerful for that. And that's not me being arrogant. That's me knowing who I am. I don't never want to be a victim. Not in this so-called system, not in this world that we live in no way, in no fashion. Because it's a real world out there, and it's real tricky, it's real sketch. So I never want to take up a victim role. But I will say being victorious is the manifestation. That's exactly what it is. But not taking up the victim role and not sitting and marinating in that is so self-disempowering, right? Just the sound of it is like self-disempowering, right? But people do stuff behind the scenes and in the dark, and when it gets exposed or when they experience unfavorable, undesirable, and adverse situations in life, they want to blame other people and they want to take up the victim role. And for people to be of a certain age and to have a certain position in life is just unbelievable, because a lot of these people are people in significant positions, people that some people will consider important, you know? So I personally believe that we are seeing a lot of that, and I think that we're gonna see a lot more of that. So I think what people should do is to stay on their P's and Q's and still walk with the intentions to have a sovereign mindset, to be sovereign in your ways, to be sovereign in your going and your coming, in the way that you are moving about life, being the head and the master of your life, right? Because that is your birthright. Definitely doing that, but being very mindful of how you are moving and what the seeds that you are planting. You know, some people are unconsciously planting bad seeds, you know, and then others, they're just outright intentionally doing wrong, and then when it all catch up to them, it's like they're surprised. Why are you surprised? You're surprised because why? Now again, I'm not praying on anybody's downfall, because it's not going to benefit or better me in any type of way. The things that I experience in my life is because of my actions, because of my intentions, because of pretty much what I have put into the things that I have and the life that I am experiencing. And that's me as a woman taking full accountability. But then there are some people that they absolutely cannot do that. They don't have the maturity, they don't have the strength and the mindset to say that they are the author, creator, and progenitor of their life, that their manifestations, good or bad, is because of their doing. That, you know, a lot of these people don't have the mindset that you have to be aware of the things that you do. And not only the things that you do, but who you do it to. You know, because people feel as though they'll get away with certain things, but it always come back around, especially when you do it to certain people. So it's crazy. Like, you don't have to wish bad on certain individuals, you know? You don't have to send them bad juju or do any bad or dark magic or dark work or any of that. Some people just already have certain energies and certain things coming to them and for them because, you know, they have put out certain things in the world. They have done certain things, and eventually you're gonna have to give and counter that. So again, people need to be mindful of how they are moving, to stay on their P's and Q's, to make sure that they are literally crossing all their T's and dotting all their I's, right? And just on the most basic level, I mean, just living and walking with righteous intent, right? Because, you know, as much as we are human and as much as we might have certain thoughts, habits, or ways, and when the human parts of us kick in or whatever, you know, it's never a wise thing to, you know, make executive decisions to do things that you'll later have to give an account of, or that you will later regret, right? Because at the end of the day, everything plays out the way that it's supposed to. Everything will reveal itself. Everything will unravel. Everything will happen as it is supposed to in the divine will. And that's definitely something that we should all keep in mind. Everything happens in divine time and in divine will. And also keeping in mind, you know, the karma that comes with that. Not expecting and assuming bad things to happen, but just being aware and knowing that, you know, if you are planting bad seeds, then, you know, you should expect a return on that, right? So, self-awareness is a big thing. Very big thing. Y'all be well. Ashe.